Hello, and welcome to Staying the Course. It's a conversation that is empowered by Christ for the Nations Ministries, and I am your host. I'm Vitali Muvunyi. Today I'm co-hosting with my friend and sister, Miss Teta. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Vital. How are you?
I'm doing good too.
I'm so excited to be here.
How is your Sunday going?
It's a lot, but we'll manage. How is yours?
Mine is great too. And I can't wait for tonight's conversation. We're going to be talking about purpose and patriotism. One might ask themselves, how do those two relate at all? Why would we combine them together in one conversation? There's been so many trends around the world, and there is an ongoing increase in sort of a crisis, especially in the West. That is revealing how many young people are living purposelessly, and it's at the same time growing with the same increase, with another increase in, should I call it lack of patriotism, or more of individualistic lives that people want just to, advance their lives and individually, but not looking at it from a community standpoint. And some people have tried to put these two together, and we are hoping that tonight with our guests we'll be able to explore more about purpose and about patriotism. Today we are with two guests. We are with Miss MUTESI Kelly. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's a joy for us to have you.
Thank you so much.
And I'm also with a friend of mine, Mr. MUTABAZI. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you
Welcome
doing?
to Staying the Course.
Thank you very much.
How is it going?
Everything's blessed.
So I would love to let them introduce themselves more and tell us about purpose and patriotism. And I would love to start with MUTABAZI. I know ladies first. That's why I asked her first to greet people, but I'm going to start with you this time around.
Definitely.
What do you do?
I am a fitness coach and I am a multidisciplinary artist.
Wow.
I do fashion design, I do music, and I do visual arts. Yes.
I think most people know you about, on music. You have some great songs that I've seen people play.
Yeah, I've heard it on the streets. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a joy for us to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Miss Kelly, how are you doing? What do you do?
What do I do? I believe we have an opportunity to be artists, but also to be art. Which is not to think of myself as a masterpiece necessarily, but I will master something. And on the way to that, I hope it's peace. That's what I do. That's my goal in life. However, thank you. I am a spoken word poet. That's how I started my career. I'm a writer. And I'm an advocate. I think I'm an advocate for young people speaking up, because I know it seems like we live in a world where everyone is speaking up, but that doesn't mean there's no room for your voice.
Yeah, someone might ask themselves, why would we invite a fitness coach to talk about patriotism? But if he tells you what he's called his club, you might get something. So please tell us about your club.
I have a fitness club called Kotana. It's a club born from the spirit of relentless unity and courage, and that shaped the Inhotanyi. So out of that relentless need for becoming, Kotana was born. Yes.
Yeah, so for so many names that you could have called your club, you chose to call it Kotana, and I think it's already giving people a hint. But also, as I mentioned, he's a star. So I assume that most of our viewers, because there's some sort of a circle, and most of our viewers know you. There's no more introduction that I need to make, but probably through conversation, people are going to get to know both of you more. Tita, Someone told me you have questions for this.
A lot of them, actually. But I'll start with Kelly. You were introducing yourself, and I kept on, trying to understand the hard English, the poetry. But it's powerful, and I would. It's a curious question. Would you put yourself as or put your purpose as the way you introduced yourself as an advocate of the young people, the young generation? Would you say that is your purpose?
I don't believe purpose is something you do. I think it's who you are. I don't associate myself with what I do, first and foremost. My social media handle, I've been saying for a few years, is that I'm the sun in the Rwandan flag. I wish I came up with that, but I didn't. It was created on Twitter, was the website at the time, and there was a trend online that was going around where, all these young Rwandans in the diaspora were tweeting pictures of themselves with a hashtag to do with Rwanda. I don't remember what it was, and I participated, and someone commented that under my pictures. They said, I'll tell my son this is the sun in the Rwandan flag. So I just kept it kind of for fun, and then it grew on me. But no, I don't think of myself as a poet. I do poetry, but what I am is me, and that's a whole other question.
Okay, I want you to go there.
Yeah.
Who is you?
Who am I, or what is my purpose?
And your purpose, of course.
I think I don't translate the world to myself the way most people do. I'm a nerd for words, so I'm very careful with them. What is my purpose? I think purposes change depending on the season. But I know what my mission is as a Christian. My mission is to love my Lord, and to love myself, and to love you. And if I can fulfill those three things, I've met my quota. So to say, we can't ever repay what he's done, but so if today the way that I can love you and me is to speak up for my country, then that's what I'm going to do. But if tomorrow the thing that is most loving for you and I, is to go to Muganda, that's where we're going to go. We're going to go plant a tree instead of talking about climate change. Yeah, so I think I answered your question. Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Kelly was talking about speaking up for your country. And I have had some people who are better with words than I am talk about standing up for your country, speaking up for your country. And my question goes to MUTABAZI. It will be this. I'm going to try to draw it from the name that you called your fitness club. I don't know how you define purpose. You could try and give us your thoughts about what purpose is. But I know there are people who believe in generational purpose. I've read one of my favorite books, which is 1,000 Hills, and the writer mentioned something about the generation of our president, that when they were still young, attending primary school, their parents would send them and tell them that study as hard as you can, because your generation is born to take us back to our motherland. And somehow, that was their generational purpose, and I don't think it was limited. Just like Miss Kelly was saying, there's a way that things keep changing. Some of them, of course, they brought us home and they couldn't continue with us for so many reasons. Some paid their ultimate sacrifice. But his generation did not only bring us back to Rwanda, it's also helped rebuilding the country, and they are still rebuilding the country. So that's the spirit you were talking about of Inkotanyi. And I wanted to ask you today, because we're talking about purpose and patriotism, if you could define the word purpose and probably the word patriotism for our people, just to have a sort of a working definition for the two words. But also tell me, what do you think is our generation of purpose? I know I'm a little bit older than you are, but we are almost the same generation. So what do you think? Is it standing up for our country? Is it speaking up for our country? Is it many other things that we didn't mention? What do you think?
So I'm going to start by me. I think my purpose is setting an example, or in one way or another being the voice of those after me, meaning the younger generation after me. So by setting that example the same way my father sets that example, the same way my uncle, a man I randomly met on the market, or excuse me, be it a man I randomly met on the road, be it momotari wanwaye, there's never a time in your life you're going to meet someone who doesn't know something you don't. So I feel like my purpose is to collect information and to pass on that information, because not to brag, but I'm a man of many talents. So I believe all of those talents are for a reason. I don't just make music to make music. I don't just draw to draw. I don't just, train people to train people, but to connect it with the name Kotana, we're going to go into fitness. A better country is a country with better people. By better people, I mean healthy people. By healthy people, I mean strong people. So by encouraging or pushing people to be a better and stronger versions of themselves every single day, I am not necessarily directly, but indirectly empowering a stronger future generation. So if a country is going to fight, you're going to need strength. To me, it's logic. I feel like anyone should understand it very easily. You need to be strong to, to live your everyday life. You need to pick up things from the floor. You need to drive. You need to speak. So if you're going to speak up for your country, you're not going to speak with lungs full of smoke, If you're going to fight for your country, you're not going to fight for your country with diabetes, because, I think it's, so yeah, I feel like we have different purposes in life, but I feel like even though we have different purposes in life, all our purposes are connected in one way or another, because we are called to serve one another. So if you serve me and I serve you, I'll give you what I have and you give me what you have. So it's, it's a loop that goes on and on and on. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way I can answer that question.
So do you think there is such a thing as generational purpose?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you agree with the author of 1,000 Hills. If I'm not mispronouncing his name, is called Stephen Kinzer.
Yes.
I don't know if you agree with how he defined the purpose of the generation of our fathers. And if you do, or if you don't, you can share with us what you think. If you do, I would love to know, what do you think should be our purpose as a generation?
If I may. I think he already answered the question. I shared being a nerd for words, so I tend to understand with
what he meant.
With a few words I can understand. He says that he feels that he's indirectly and sometimes directly contributing to a stronger generation to come. That's what our parents essentially did in their context. They strengthened their generation, and therefore their followers, or those who came after them, had the motivation to be strong. He's motivating young people to be strong, to be able to rely on their bodies and themselves, and therefore be reliable people for our country. So he's already answered the question. It's just, we might have missed the magic there, but I thought that was lovely.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I understand that, but maybe let me rephrase my question.
Also, I haven't yet read the book.
Oh, okay, it's still fine, but this is what I'm trying to say. You see, let's maybe look at it from an African context. They will tell you that, I don't know, the generation of King Msinga and other people who were there during that time, actually it's Wawujiri, when colonizers came, they did their best to defend these countries, these communities. Unfortunately, we were still colonized, and they still managed to help us survive through colonization. But you would say that their generation tried to defend us against the colonizers. And then we had a generation that came after them, the generation of the Kwame Nkrumahs and what was the name of the Congolese? Lumumba and many others who tried to, to move us from colonization to being decolonized. And then we have the generation of our president, of Ugandan president, of
Are those the same generation? Oh, sorry.
It kind of, yeah. If a generation is about 40 years,
okay.
I think by standard.
All right.
I don't know. If that's what they call generation, so they call them the liberators because again, you find that they all call themselves people who liberated their communities, their nations, because we've been decolonized, but we still lived in a sort of, and I'm still curious to know what is, because I'm assuming that by defining something particular people do, because again, throughout all those generations, would you say of strengthening those who come after you? I think it's been what everyone does. But is there maybe is there something specific that you think is?
I feel like the purpose. I feel like our generation are the keepers of peace. I feel like it's one thing to fight for the country and bring peace to the country, but I think as a generation who came after the Inhotanyi, we have an even bigger challenge, because what they did is here. So guarding it so it doesn't even step back even a little bit is uneven, because to be honest, we are building the country now, but our parents built the country in the past. So I feel like we are the keepers of peace. I think our generation's purpose, we are the keepers of peace, to maintain what has already been built and make sure that we keep the standard, Yeah.
That's good. Yes.
I think there's a mission that is even bigger for our generation. I moved to Rwanda almost 2 years ago. And I had the privilege to be part of the conversations with young people regarding our country. And I've noticed a huge gap in information. I think our generation's task is to, like he said, his personal mission is gather information and keep it sacred. Because our grandparents and parents' generations all have stories to tell that are Hollywood worthy, Yeah. And they walk around like it's normal. There's nothing normal about our recent history. So pick anyone in the streets, they're gonna have a crazy story to tell you about their family and therefore this country. We used to be looked down on in Western academia because our generation, our ancestors didn't write down. Now we have videos.
Yeah.
We're not recording these people. Why,
We're the storytellers.
We need to record our grandparents, those of us who have the privilege of having them, and our parents, because our president said at the end of last year, 75% of Rwanda is 35 and under. It's not ngo bazadusigira igihugu turagifite. We are the majority. So we're already doing not enough. Because our parents' generations that gave us the foundation that Serge is talking about, bro, we're not you know, I'm not putting down our achievements whatsoever, but we're not doing enough. Yeah. So I think part of that, and part of even the conversation of patriotism is, bro, if you knew to really know Rwanda, you will love her. You'll be forced to. So those who don't love Rwanda don't know her. They have a different image of who she is and what she stands for. Or they lived in a different Rwanda that was confused, and they want that Rwanda back. But anyways, I think our generation's purpose is to preserve that memory, to record it and to put it out, because, you know, I have a Netflix account too, but there's nothing on Netflix that can beat the stories my dad's sister will tell me, you know?
Yeah, that's facts.
Ask questions and take your phones out and record it. I mean, if you have time to, I wish it was trending. I wish our generation asking questions, taking videos, sharing the stories of their family and therefore this country was a trend, because boy, do we have stories to tell. And I think that's the mission of our generation, is getting our generation to care enough about our own stories to take them down and to share them. Because if we don't, you know, the victory we feel and the patriotism we feel about being Rwandan, it's going to be erased. If we don't tell our own stories, they're going to be told for us, and we don't want that. The last time European scripts, you know, wrote in Rwanda, they were all written in blood, and no. So we better start telling our own stories.
That is a lot of passion.
Yeah.
I think the two are tied, actually.
Yeah, they are.
If we are to keep peace,
Yeah.
as you were saying, and if we are to build a strong country and a strong future, where do we draw the courage and the strength? It's in these stories, as she was saying.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you were about to say something.
Well, I was still amazed by the fire, like the passion. She almost like, I didn't want to ask questions really. I just wanted to keep on listening to what she had to say. But of course, there's another part to the title today. So I wanted to skip a little bit of the patriotism part and go to the faith part. A lot of people say it is hard to combine the two, or the two working together. I think sometimes people say they collide, and well, I don't know if they collide or not, but I just want to hear it.
I think that's ridiculous. Sorry.
Okay, go on.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I feel like common sense isn't common anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I speak.
No, it's perfectly fine.
I think out loud. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. People who think faith and patriotism don't go together. Oh my goodness. Faith was present 30 years ago when churches turned into slaughterhouses. Faith was never the problem. Having a state was the problem. Having a nation was the problem. I'm not calling genocide Christian whatsoever, but I'm saying the most Christian thing for you to do if you care for your neighbor is to empower yourself to be able to make the policies that shape their neighbor's life. So, tudafite igihugu, this is a luxury, by the way. Ntakiruta, my dad always says, ntakiruta amahoro n'umutekano. Guys, at my age, do you know what our parents were doing at our age?
Yeah.
Now we have the luxury to sit and debate life's purpose. Let me tell you, having patriotism is not a fancy word. It just means I'm happy with my state.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my state's capacity to provide my basic human rights, or at least try to. Okay? That's what patriotism means. Now, if you're not happy with how your state is functioning, what I love about Rwanda is we have the opportunity to, we are the state. We function it. You know, we affect the change. We have the chance to even speak out against how anything we see that is going wrong, you know? Anyways, so people who say that faith and patriotism don't go together, bro, like, I don't understand you. I don't know what's more Christian than what inkotanyi zakoze, honestly. Like, yeah, that's me. Sorry.
To add on to what she just said, it's as simple as serving something bigger than yourself. Patriotism is serving something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Faith, God, spirituality is serving something bigger than yourself. By those two definitions themselves, they collide. They're the same thing. You cannot be patriotic if you don't have faith. If you know it's nukukora ibintu nukukora imibare wanze ukayikubana zero irangije. You know, it's your faith. That faith comes whether you like it or not, whether directly or indirectly. If you don't have that faith, you're not going to be patriotic. You're just not. Yeah.
And another thing.
Yes.
Okay, I think people don't even read their Bibles. Okay? Because David was so patriotic, I'll tell you that. You know? Like Gideon in the Old Testament. Gideon, you know, rushed into the enemy camp screaming, "A sword for the Lord and a sword for Gideon." So I get to say a sword for Christ, a sword for Kigali, for Rwanda, you know. Ingotanyi, you know. I don't know, do you guys know the origin of that word? Ingotanyi. It's in our legends, okay? I'm not going to go through the legends of Rwanda, but there was a daughter of the guy who founded this country. Yes, thank you so much. And his daughter, to his sons he gave land, and to his daughter he gave inkota, a sword. Sorry, I'm spinning too much. But the sword was to, if anyone tries to dismantle the unity of Rwanda, this sword is going to bring back the unity. That was in our history, okay?
Yeah.
Our history talked about unity. It's like they saw it coming, you know? So that's patriotic, bringing people together. Love your neighbor.
Yeah,
It's Christian and it's patriotic, you know? So, you know, I think if you want a reason to believe in God, get to know Rwanda. Our people are the living word. If faith is the substance, is the evidence of things hoped for, our parents hoped for this, I'll tell you that much. And we are the evidence, you know. They had the audacity to dream and to fight, and now we're here. I wrote a whole poem about it. It's a poem about faith and the country, you know. Our people, you know, while everyone says whatever they want to say about Rwanda, the way we live is faith. It's our parents' faith that is now evidence, you know? And it's like, what could be more beautiful than that? Patriotism, prayer, may everything that have breath worship the Lord, because wow, you know, this is amazing what was done in this country, you know? So, yeah.
Wow.
Amen.
Yeah, Rwandans have always been people of faith, by the way.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask MUTABAZI about something that Ms. Kelly mentioned earlier. And I think I agree with her when she says that we're doing so little compared to what the previous generation has done. And I just wanted to explore some of, okay, first of all, what do you think is missing? What do you think is wrong with us? Because I do agree, and sometimes I try to think of what is it that is not
Going.
We have so much
Potential.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got the question before I asked it.
Allow me to answer this in Kinyarwanda. Babyita gusinda amahoro. You know, hari mugenzi wanjye yigeze kumbwira ngo a struggling generation produces a peaceful generation produces a struggling generation and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So njya mbwira ababyeyi banjye turi kuganira bari kuvuga ukuntu bakuze, ukuntu bagendanaga n'amaguru, ukuntu ibintu byose, ukuntu ibintu byari bimeze, ukuntu ababyeyi babo babigishaga, numva ukuntu ubuzima bwabo bwari buteye, nta hantu buhuriye n'ukuntu bwacu buteye. Cyambere cyo nka data yavukiye mu nkambi. Umuntu uvukiye mu nkambi, yavukiye muri Kongo, bari kumubwira ati ntabwo ari iwanyu, abakongomani bari kuza bamutera amabuye, akuriye ku myaka y'itatu yiga kugenda, ari ibyo ngibyo adirenga nabyo, ari ibyo ahura nabyo. Urumva kura yibaza ati ese kubera iki? Kubera iki mbayeho gutya? Kubera iki aba batwanga? Kubera iki tudataha mu rugo? Ese harabura iki? Agakura yibaza. Uko akura intambwe zose agenda atera, cya gitekerezo nicyo kiguma mu mutwe. Icyo gitekerezo ni nacyo cyashepinze inkotanyi tubigiye imuzi. So twebwe rero njyewe mvukiye kwa Nyirinkwaya ku biro byanjye bingahe, hari amata, hari amezi abiri ndirijije ibere ndaryanze, bamaye ikigozi, bamaye igikoma, ndakuze, nizera Kolomberi, nize Green Hills. Nose ubwo urumva nta shida mfite mu buzima. So rero cya kintu cyo kuvuga ngo ndajya kurwana n'umuntu uri kumbwira ngo igihugu cyanjye ni kibi, n'akazi ke. Njye ndigumira mu mahoro yanjye. We're too comfortable. We take this for granted. So twibwira ko aba bantu baturinda ari aba immortals kandi twese tuzapfa. So rero iyo wibwira ko umuntu ukurinda ntahazajya, nyine wiberaho bajeyi, wiberaho urateta, nta kibazo ufite, nta mbaraga ukeneye gushyira mu buzima kuko hari undi muntu ubyitaho. Ariko iyo ufungutse amaso ukabona ko wa muntu ashobora kugenda, abamurwanyaga bagasigara. Niba murwanya nimba wonze ukurindaga agiye, abamurwanya basigaye, nawe baraza kukurwanya. Barwanya umuryango wawe, barwanya igihugu. None se nutamenya ubwenge hakiri kare ngo icyo kintu kize mu mutwe uvuga uti ukanguke, utangire ukore siporo, ukomere, tayari. Urumva ko nyine dufite twaratese. Nyine niko mbyita, niko mbibona nyine nta. We take life and what we have for granted. We have access, we have a platform. Ariko nyine iyo ufite ikintu utavunikiye ntabwo wumva akamaro kacyo. Niko ikiremwa cy'umuntu, niko duteye nk'abantu. Ikintu utavunikiye baje bakaguha miliyoni aka kanya wayipfusha ubusa. Ariko iyo miliyoni wayikoreye ku cyuya cyawe, wayikorera usevinga, iyo miliyoni yavamo ikintu kizima. So kubera ko rero I'm sorry to say this, but kubera ko twebwe amateka yacu tutayazi first hand, tuyumva muri story. Ni nkuko bakubwira ngo muri Kenya habaye ibi, kumva biteye ubwoba, ariko nyine ni story. Ni nkuko batubwira wenda urugero jenoside y'Abayahudi, ubyumva nyine ariko ntabwo wabibonye, n'amafoto na video arabibona ariko ntabwo bigufashe ku mutima nk'awa muntu wabibonye. So umva wowe biri bukugore gushyiramo imbaraga kuko biragusaba umwanya wo kubyumva. So rero urubyiruko tuba twishakira ubuzima bworoshye, tuba twishakira nyine ibintu bitatugora, ibintu bitatuvuna, so tukumva ko nyine ibintu bizahora ari sawa. So icyo kintu rero kitubuza gutera imbere, kandi utabibona azabibona, ahubwo ikibazo azabone atakibasha kugira icyo abikoraho, nyine abeho muri regret. So yeah, the sooner the better. Nishimira nyine ko twe tubizi dufite platform yo kuba twabisangiza abagenzi bacu, ariko nyine nsubije ikibazo mbajije, twaratese, we take things for granted.
You want to add something? Please do. And stop excusing yourself for telling us more. That's why we invited you, okay? So share as much as you have on your heart.
I can be a little controversial.
Sure.
Feel free.
That's perfectly fine.
So my name is MUTESI, and I don't think Guteta is the problem.
She's Teta. So
Yeah. I think Guteta is not a bad thing, honestly. But you did hit the nail at the end, though. You said kutamenya agaciro kabyo. I think that's all. Yeah. I would attribute it more to not knowing what a gem we have in our nation being the problem. And yeah, that comes with taking it for granted and, you know. Let me say it like this. If, let's say, I don't know, a pop star, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, was in this building and he was on the top floor and I'm lazy by nature, I'm still going to go up to the top floor if I can get an autograph. I'm not even a fan of his, but I know what his autograph is worth. Okay? So I think it's about attributing worth. It's crazy that our country, yaduhaye agaciro. Ariko ntango tuha our country agaciro ikwiriye, like the nation ikwiriye. You know? And I think that's so sad. You know? I think that's the problem. Ntango duha u Rwanda rwacu agaciro rukwiriye. Yeah. Because if we did, even if I'm not a fan of Cristiano, I don't play football, I know what Cristiano's worth. I'm going to get that picture, you know? Slowly, it's starting to come. You know, slowly it's starting to come with all these concerts, you know, everyone's posting Kigali, like I was a member of the diaspora community, you know, so it was so cool if you could go home for the summer, you know, or in December, you're going to go to Kigali. But why was it cool? Party, you know, all that stuff. That doesn't give you pride in your country. That gives you pride in the party scene of the country, you know? It wasn't until I got to know her, really got to know her, that now it spills out of me how much I love Rwanda, you know? But you have to get to know her, and it's not enough just to know what Wikipedia says. There are Rwandans in Rwanda who have lived in Rwanda who genuinely think the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi started because of a plane crash.
Yeah.
You know? And that's like basic history that's been disqualified and, you know. There are Rwandans who don't know that the first time sexual assault was recognized as a crime against genocide was because of Rwanda's history. That's how terrible it was. We invented it in international law. And we don't know these things about our own story, you know? So when the rest of the world says Rwanda is sending our troops to go sexually assault girls in Congo, and then you realize, wait, the people who made sexual assault recognized are the ones living in Congo. Of course it's the rape capital of the world. Anyways, that's another topic. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, we don't know who we are. If we knew who we were, and if we really knew where we came from, u Rwanda rwaduhaye agaciro, ariko ntango tugaha agaciro gakwiriye. Like this country, wow, we have stories to tell. Yeah. So I think that's it. I think it's a lack of motivation. You know, it's too easy to say, yeah, the student is failing in class because he's lazy. No, maybe he's not motivated. My motivation is, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. So, lazy is lazy, but a whole entire generation is lazy. No. Give them a drive, you know? Put some fuel, you know? Yeah. Make it feel like, that's why I was saying, it needs to become a trend. Yeah. Our stories need to be trending, at least in our community, because there's such great stories, you know?
I wish we had more time. I have like, honestly speaking, I have like 4 questions right now to ask you about, but it is something I wouldn't want us to conclude our conversation without talking about. This is also because you just mentioned the 1994 genocide against Tutsi. You know, as a kid I used to listen, I'm one of those few that had the privilege to live with their grandmothers. And my grandmother used to tell me stories. Those they called me Gani.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after all, MUTABAZI made this conversation a mixed one.
Yeah. That's how we like it.
I'm going to mix too.
That's how we like it.
And I remember, if you guys have read those stories or have heard people tell you those stories, ukuntu wajyaga bavuga ngo hakabaho ngo hakaba igisabo kinini cyane ngo kirimo nk'umukobwa ngo bakavuga ngo uzagiterura niwe bazamumuha ngo umwami, of course at the time they used the terms, umwami atumira abahutu baraza baragerageza biranga, gatumira abatutsi baraza baragerageza biranga, atumira abatwa baraza baragerageza biranga, and ngo umuntu kanaka, they don't even necessarily tell you which group he came from, ngaraza we aragiterura, and then the story goes on. Today, when I look at it, I look at how Rwanda, for its survival, has always put unit together. I think one of the things that my grandmother was telling me indirectly was Rwanda has always been a nation that is defended by its people, all of them, girls and boys, people of all kinds, okay? And we see 1990, 1994. Recently, I was having a conversation with people, and we were talking about how actually 1st October 1990. It's interesting. I think the chairman of RPF was Rwigema, and the deputy was Alexis Kanyarengwe. Right? Anyways, Alex Kanyarengwe was somewhere around there. And this guy was an ex-friend, I don't know if it's an ex-friend, but was an ex-comrade of Habyarimana. And something that always skips my mind is how these men that we respect had the capacity to, I don't know, rationalize things or to look far ahead in the future. And even at that point, even though everybody called them a force of Tutsis, they still could get someone like that. By the way, Kanyarengwe was one of the comrades that had helped Habyarimana to during the coup d'etat and all that. Yeah. But look at 1994, this same RPF forcing people, I don't know, it's forcing, but allowing the same army that had refused to allow them to come and join them, because genocide starts at the time that we're supposed to join the army, join the political parties and all that. And even though these guys said, instead of joining with you, we would rather kill all your relatives here, they still said, if you are part of that army and you did not commit crimes against humanity, we're still going to have to allow you in. And somehow, the Inkotanyi brought back this thing of unity. In fact, they called themselves a government of unity, where Rwandans would defend this nation together. And this is my question. Of course, I took longer than I should take classification, but I wanted to give it the context. He mentioned earlier about unity, and I noted it. You just mentioned something about genocide. And I believe that today, as we gather those kinds of information, as we keep the peace, there's a need for us to unite. In our theme of Kwibuka, there is remember, unite, and renew. And I think unite coming in between is very, very meaningful. And I believe, of course, uniting or renewing, rebuilding, doesn't take away the fact that this history of ours is got some great things that we do not know about actually, but also some of part of our history is also very ugly. And some people, my generation, when we're having these conversations, somebody would tell you, I don't think Chacha did enough. I don't think the RPF at the time made some right decisions. Anyways, I could go on and on, but I want to ask, how does fighting for this nation together, whether you fight on the front lines of bullets and all that, or on the platforms that I know that you hold some rank of, I don't want to give you a rank. I'm not qualified to give you a rank, but how do we as young people build this unit on which our nation rises or falls? That question goes to both of you.
Listen, there's many ways to build unity, okay? But I want to build the right kind of unity. We're not just coming together just to come together, you know? It's about the purpose, right? So, as a Christian, first and foremost, my purpose is to love my neighbor as myself. I think my neighbor deserves the basic human rights. I think the people who govern Rwanda today fought to give us these basic human rights. They gave them to themselves, then they gave them to us. I think we come together when we're reminded that we were always together. There's a word, igitangaza. I think in Kinyarwanda, igitangaza is hard to translate, right?
Yep.
It means surprise, but it also means miracle. It can be scary, it can be good. Even in the Bible, I mean, the Tower of Babel, right? So people who come together can't be stopped, you know? So I've seen in politics how politicians can bring their people together by giving them a common enemy, right? That's propaganda. So that's one way, but I don't like that way, right? Some of our neighbors do that.
Yeah.
Literally, the only thing they come
do.
together is hating us, but it's okay. I mean, misery loves company, but anyways. I think we need to be brought together because we need to give Rwanda back its value.
Yeah.
That our parents' generation did when it was, our parents sang songs about this land being of milk and honey when there was no milk and honey,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We have milk and honey and some, and we're still singing their songs.
Yeah.
Do you get that? Their songs are still great. I mean, their songs will always be great. But we should have been able to, you know, we're both artists, you know, I sing as well, and we sit and we're like, oh, like we need to write that thing that really, you know. And I think our artists are doing that with the 250 album that just came out. That was a really cool release. But it's almost like how there's people exploring space, but we don't know what's in our oceans, you know? It's like that. Rwandans are exploring, you know, papillon libre, you know? But they don't know what we have. Like, if you knew what was in your backyard, you would be here watering the grass we have instead of looking for greener pastures, because, yeah. I think I answered your question the best way I know how.
Thank you so much.
The grass is greener when you water it.
Yeah, the grass is greener when you water it. Yeah, so we come together. Yeah. Let's come together for that. Umuganda.
Communities, you know, Kotana Club, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teta knows. She's been there.
It's amazing, by the way.
You know? Yeah, community. Community, honestly.
What do you think is... I'm now going back to the question I asked. I wanted to ask among the other four that I chose to put away, but I'm going to join it with hers, with the question I had asked you both, because she answered it and you seem to agree completely. So let me change it a little bit. I don't know what she meant by the word gutata, because it's I think, a double-sided, not sword, but what do they call it? A coin, more like a coin, right? Okay. You want to give your children a chance ngo batete, right? Ariko ushaka nyine ko bateta bakishima bakanezerwa, ntibakureho na responsibility, ntibakureho no kuba bashobora kuba ari abantu bari tayari ikibazo kije biteguye kuba batabaza, you know? And so from what he said earlier, I think he was talking about the other side of things.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, you see, let me put it this way. Iyo aba bantu bakuru barimo kubivuga, ku mwana muto yaravuga ko se abantu baradushaka hiki bizashaka tujye gufata imbuno nkuko bayifashe bizashaka tujye mu nkambi nkuko bazibayemo bashaka se dusubire mu ngoma ya Habyarimana nkuko bayibayemo. What do they want with us? And somehow it doesn't make sense to them. Maybe the language that they are even using is a little harder for them. You do understand it. Man ishimwe. Ariko hari umushora kwa dukurikiye akavuga the way Serge is saying these things is so deep. I want to know, what does he mean MUTESI? Not MUTESI wabateta na ba MUTESI. Ndavuga, what does he mean I'm not nago mpagaze uko nkwiriye ko mpagaze? What does he mean? How does he so help me help this person understand and also touch something on the unity.
And touch on unity.
Bon, guteta navugaga ntibanyumve nawe ko nanjye naratese pe kura naratese. Guteta se ni iki? Guteta no kuba nk'umwana icyo ukeneye cyose ukibona bitasabye kurira. Ni ikintu cyose ushaka ugisabe ukibone bidaciye mu nzira nyinshi. Ngiye nibyo nita guteta. Ntacyo bakwima kabisa, ntahoya. Umwana ntaho yabazi. Ariko tout excès mauvais. Hari guteta kwizanye no guteta kubi. Uguteta kuringaniye sava buri muntu wese abakeneye guteta. Umuntu wese gukeneye guteta kuko mu guteta harimo urukundo. Guteta no kumva ukunzwe, guteta no kumva stress igabanutse, worries zihari, nyine guteta no kumva ko ufite umuntu cyangwa abantu bagukunda barakwitaho, nta kibazo ufite. Ariko hari kugenda ugateta ukumva ko naba abantu bazagukorera inshingano zawe nk'umuntu. Aho ngaho bo watese bikabije. So nabyita kuba too comfortable. Ndatangiye vuga ngo twasinze amahoro no kuba too comfortable. Comfort si mbi ariko comfort nyinshi ni mbi. So nuko guteta ni muri uwo mujyo. Guteta bisanzwe nta kibazo ariko ntutete hahandi wumva ko nibyo wagakwiye kumenya utari bubimenya ahubwo abandi bantu bari bubikumenyere. Mwa musanzu wari bugutanga utari bugutange ahubwo abandi bantu abo bantu bari bugutangire. Aho ngaho uba watangiye gukabya. Yego. Nuko guteta navugaga rero.
So ubwo umuntu urimo gukabya akora iki kugira ngo arekera gukabya atangirire he?
Umuntu mu buzima icyambere ni amakuru. Mu buzima icyambere ni amakuru. Mu gihe udafite amakuru hari ahantu abandi bazarenga wowe utazagera. Uwo muntu rero nyamwinga kumva ntiyanze no kubona. Uwo muntu inama namugira ni ukwicara agafata ikipapuro na biki agakora tablo. Uruhande rumwe akandikaho ibyo azi, urundi ruhande akandikaho ibyo atazi. Hari chance nyinshi 99 oya 100% uzasanga ibyo utazi ari byo byinshi kurusha ibyo uzi. Ibyo wabuze byose uko bingana, ibyo utazi nibyo byinshi kurusha ibyo utazi. So ibyo ngibyo wakwiye gucisha bugufi ukumva ko ugifite urugendo runini rwo gukora, urugendo rutazanarangira kuko uzapfa ari nibyo utamenye n'ubundi. So icyo kintu kigukure muri comfort urimo ushakishe biroroshye. Amakuru nk'aya turi kuvuga ni amakuru rusange, ntabwo ari amakuru ari muri kofre ya polisi. Ni amakuru uri ahantu hose. Wayabaza umumotari, wayabaza umukanishi, wayabaza umunamba, wayabaza abantu bose. So baza abantu abanyarwanda cyane cyane urubyiruko ntabwo tubaza, tugira ikintu cyo kutabaza nyine. Bavuga ibintu ntubyumve ukaguma nyine uraho ugataha ukaza bigasohokera bikinjira ukaformalite. So rero ngewe niyo nama nabagira. Iyo nama nibatayumva nyamwaga kumva ntiyanze no kubona nyine n'ubundi.
Iyo ndagiye kuba very patriotic mutagiye no kuba basaza nyinshi ikakaye.
Nibyo kera nyine hari ukuntu umubyeyi hari ukuntu nka data yambwiraga ibintu kera nkavuga se ibintu by'abasaza ubundi bite. Nyuma y'imyaka 10 byaranarangiye atanakibuka ko iyo nama yikugiriye ukabona uhuye na cya kintu. So nagiye mpora n'ibintu byinshi muri iyo sanse byagiye bincisha bugufi. Aho ibintu bya papa yambwiye nibyo nsanga inama iyo ari yose uko yabingana kose ifite akamaro. Kandi ikindi umuntu kugira inama ntabwo ari umuntu ukuruta gusa. N'abantu rutabashobora kugira inama kandi. So no kwicisha bugufi ukemera ko hari ibintu byinshi utazi kandi ukumva ko mu kumenya ibyo bintu hari ahantu bizakuvana ari naho bizakujyana.
Teta nihariye ijambo nafashe umwanya munini kandi bambwiye ko hasigaye iminota mikeya. If there's something you want to ask these important guests that I think we're going to have more on our show, because I think they just, you know, gave us a taste. The forties, they call it the forties, but so going to have them more and more if we want to learn as much as we can from the Somali. But I wanted to give you those few minutes to ask anything, share anything.
No, I don't have questions. I just want to thank you for being here. Yeah, from today I'm going to try and have that passion that Kelly has, because the way she was speaking, you could feel it like it's something that is embedded.
That caption, that comes from coming to my classes.
Yeah, it's
for
all
real.
Yeah, you should come to my classes more
I'm gonna
often.
come more often. Yeah.
You
Classes?
what he said.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Actually, tell us about that, because as I was saying,
Yeah.
as I was saying, I'm going to have you more times here. Ibintu byose mwavuze mwagiye mubikatira kure kubera umwanya dufite udahagije. Ariko for now, before we have you again on the show, how can people get to connect with you?
Through Instagram, kotana.club. There is everything they need to know is there. There is a link in the bio, and anything they need to know about Kotana is down on our Instagram page.
Do you co-own it? Like, do you both have the content there?
I have
Because some
shares,
people might.
Kotana is a community.
Kotana is,
He started it with a friend of his,
Yannick, yes.
Great guy, but Kotana is a community. So
you're part of it because people might have heard you and they want to listen to more of your content.
Okay.
Will they find it there?
She's our spokesperson.
Okay, that's perfect. That's good.
Yes. My name is Kelly MUTESI. I am the sun in the Rwandan flag. You can find me under Kelly MUTESI or Sunshine MUTESI on all platforms. But before that, the good news of Jesus. You know how you feel when you first taste it, when you first receive the good news, and you're like, everyone needs to know about this. You don't have to live like that anymore. Imagine feeling that about your country. And you're trying to tell people from your country how good they have it. So it's not that I'm passionate. It's that I'm a curious person. I got curious about Rwanda, and everything I'm finding out, it's amazing. You just can't stop. You can't put the book down once you start it. So more than connecting to me, connect to yourselves and the stories of this land. Like he said, like literally, your maintenance guy has amazing stories to tell you of perseverance and of, you know, and back to the unity you spoke of. My DMs are always open. I want to say that if you do find me on social media, let it be productive. My DMs are open. Use me as your resource center, and start doing it yourselves. You don't have to have the full information. When I started, I didn't have, all I knew was that I loved my country. And now I know 5,000 more reasons why I love it. So, yeah, get to know Rwanda. That's it.
There's even no such thing as full information.
Yeah, and especially as a Christian, get to know what God did for you through your country. Oh, yeah.
Wow, man, thank you so very much.
Yeah,
thank you so very much for honoring our invitation and joining us tonight and sharing so much wisdom and so much history and so much passion.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so very much. Looking forward to having you more on this conversation. Again, this is Staying the Course, and I hope tonight's conversation has sparked something in you, and I hope that tonight what we've discussed here will leave you with a lot of thirst for more information, for more of the stories of Rwandans. I agree with both of our guests and our co-host that the stories of Rwandans, the stories of Rwanda, are so awesome. If they were weighed with, what do they call it, the other American, the Hollywood thing, put on a balance, I don't know if they would, if they could even be compared. So please do as much as you can, try as much as you can to get to know more about this land. You love it. You love it. So allow me to wish you a good evening and a great week ahead. Thank you.